I go to the fit and fall classes. They help me in every way possible, physically and socially.
I think it makes a tremendous difference in how I feel.
Fit and Fall has really helped with the stretching and just feeling better and being able to get out of bed in the morning and not be so achy.
And it just changes my mental attitude, and I think it does my body a lot of good.
It's good.
The Fit and Fall Proof program was the brainchild of the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare. Jan Mittleiter from the College of Southern Idaho and I got together and we started the program. We are very concerned with the fact that many older adults decline as they get older. We're one of the fastest growing older adult populations in the country in our state. So we increased about 16% in the last decade.
In 2014, there were more than 200 deaths from falls among our senior population age 65 or older. More than half of older adults over the age of 80 will fall at least once every year. Fit and Fall Proof classes help older adults reduce falls by increasing muscle strength, improving their balance and their mobility so that they can prevent falls. The goal of Fit and Fall Proof is to help older adults maintain their independence and to have a freely functioning lifestyle where they can stay in their homes free from falls, preventing that downward spiral that can happen as older adults age where they have a loss of mobility and balance and strength and increasing their risk of falls. We're really looking at helping them to maintain that independence and enjoy a fall-free lifestyle.
The Fit and Fall Proof exercises were developed looking at the best science out there. What exercises work, those aspects of the body that will help us stay balanced and be able to physically function the best. Muscles get stronger, get better innervation, and so suddenly they are doing and recruiting more muscle fibers, and the fibers themselves are growing. So that causes the increase in strength. And then the more you practice things like balance, the better you get at it. It's simply re-educating the body, learning cues about posture, to stand up correct. And all those things, particularly the strength and the balance practice and mobility practice, will help them and reduce the risk of falls.
We try to do a well-rounded program that has components of fitness, beginning with a warm-up and mobility with some very specific exercises for balance, preferably standing. And it's possible that when people stand, they need a little extra touch from a chair. And we try to start with very simple exercises that are weight-bearing and provide the most benefits in the shortest period of time in a safe, effective way.
Those are the things we had to work on, improving mobility. Some of them happen to be physical therapy types of exercises. So if these work for somebody after an event, they can maybe help individuals prior to the event, like stepping sideways. That is one of the most important things. If we stumble, it helps us catch ourselves and move that foot quickly, move it over, and be able to stop a fall. So all of these exercises, there's been a great deal of information on them about how they work and what joints they work. Most of them are predominantly with core stability, posture, stability at the hip joint, knee joint, and ankle joint.
One of the unique things about Fit and Fall Proof is that the core of the program is the peer leader. And there's a whole team of people around them to train them so that they can go out and lead classes in their own communities.
At least once per year, the local Fit and Fall Proof coordinators and master trainers are invited to come to Boise to a refresher training. As a local coordinator, I take back information I receive. I'm also looking forward to taking back new exercises and getting the class leaders excited about the new Fit and Fall Proof manual. I also stay in contact with state leadership to ensure I'm up to date on the most recent research for exercise in older adults. It's extremely rewarding to help local Fit and Fall Proof class leaders build successful programs.
As a coordinator for the Fit and Fall Proof program, my role is to recruit volunteers in the communities to become class leaders. The team approach is very important. The class leaders know that we are a team, that it is a statewide effort, and it increases, I think, the credibility of the program because we want to make sure that everybody's doing it safely and correctly. The best thing about Fit and Fall Proof is making site visits. And I always tell them, I leave fuller than when I came.
I believe the greatest success is because it's a grassroots program, and nobody's better than recruiting grassroots people in a small town than the people who live there. And that's why it exists, and that's why it's so good. It's taken off in some of these smaller communities, and because it works. And it's so important we have people do this. So important.
Fit and Fall Proof is a wonderful anchor to my retirement. I enjoyed attending, and they were seeking individuals to instruct. So I took the training, and it's been 5 years, I think. So I was a participant and then a leader here for the last 5 years or a little more maybe. It's very self-serving to be an instructor. I get my fitness in, and I'm happy to lead and work with others, especially in this age group. And I'm delighted because that had never been a population previously that I'd worked with.
I went and became certified at Fit and Fall, and I have just enjoyed it so much. It's really helped me a lot. Being able to speak in front of the women and the men, and it's just really been a great experience for me.
I've seen some of the volunteer class leaders really get that sense of confidence and a little boost of doing something that they didn't think they could do. They all do a wonderful job and have all different strengths and styles, and I think that our adults appreciate a different class every day and different styles.
Idaho's Fit and Fall Proof program would not exist without the peer volunteers. I can't begin to tell you how incredibly important they are to the success.
I applaud Health and Welfare and their vision for building this grassroots Idaho-based program, and they saw the value of including some metrics of measurements from looking at individuals at before they began the program and over time, also tracking their attendance. And what we saw were some really positive results. We saw improved numbers in the Up and Go test, and we saw that not only in the younger olds, so those individuals between the ages of 55 and 65, but also in the older group within Fit and Fall Proof. So that population older than 75, we saw similar changes in that ability to be more mobile, more agile, better balance. As we look at the investment compared to some of the other programs available, Fit and Fall Proof has been a very successful enterprise in that regard, in low cost, high impact, and sustainability, which is huge in a rural frontier state.
Fit and Fall Proof classes do help prevent falls, but classes are not enough. Older adults also need community support. They need to be able to safely walk to shopping, activities, and just around their neighborhood. So community environmental support for walkability and mobility is crucial.
Outdoors, you don't always have sidewalks. So it's an uneven turf that you're dealing with and can be dangerous. You tend to walk with your eyes down most of the time.
So looking ahead, we have partnered with a local planner to develop a workshop that will help teach professionals and seniors alike how to assess their community for walkability and ensure that we build communities that enhance walkability for older adults and allow them to be mobile.
There's lots of hazards for senior citizens. If we can't cross a street without it being hazardous and being sure that we feel safe when we're trying to move from point A to point B, all of those sort of go into this recipe of what makes the place walkable and eliminate some of those barriers for seniors to overcome. This Looking Glass Academy course is just our call to try to improve our own communities in the best way that we know how.
They talk about everything from design to policy, planning, and then community efforts, advocacy efforts, what we can all do as members of our community to make our streets safer.
I think the primary thing I learned is that walkability takes on more than just having a place to walk. Are they accessible? Are they blocked? Are they ADA compliant? Are they up to code? There's so many other things to consider. Is there lighting? Are there crosswalks? Things that on a daily basis you just don't consider until it's really pointed out to you.
The Looking Glass Academy is an opportunity for us to look at the environment that seniors live in and create a place for them to continue to be active and go walking and be mobile if they'd like to, so that they can be healthy and live an independent lifestyle.
Today on our walk, we were able to point out some barriers that I might not have seen yesterday. So I feel the Looking Glass has inspired me to take the tools back to our community and help be an advocate for encouraging walkability and safety in our community.
We hope that when they leave from the training, that they go home and they start to see their streets in a completely different way, that they start to pay attention to these details that are so critical, all of which go into making a community walkable.
I love the idea of making their communities more walkable and safer so that people feel comfortable making activity a regular part of their life.
I walk most everywhere around town. I mean, the bank, the post office, store.
I am very active outside of the Fit and Fall class. I walk every day with my dog, rain or shine or snow. And the thing I enjoy most about the classes is just the camaraderie. We all look out for each other. And of course, then the benefits of getting the exercise too.
I can see more of an energy amongst them and a sense of family. The thing I enjoy most and have noticed is that bonding that's happened between all these participants and that sense of community. There's somebody checking in on them and noticing when they're gone. So there's that strong sense of community and feeling of belonging.
That's been the beauty of Fit and Fall Proof, is that we have a lot of rural communities. So here's an opportunity to reach out into some of the communities that don't have the supports like a gym or a fitness center. It's a type of program that you can take anywhere in the state and grow it. You don't have to have a lot of resources and a lot of infrastructure in place in order for it to be successful.
The program is designed for everybody. Everybody does need memory work. Everybody does need balance work, and everybody does need exercise, and we all need community. So it's beneficial for anyone.
Independent mobility is critical. When people retire, they're told, be active, be physically active. And if you do that, you can actually increase and improve the longevity of your life. So the Fit and Fall Proof classes are all about strengthening senior citizens' bodies so that they don't fall, or if they do, they can recover faster. Part of that is encouraging physical activity. So hopefully through walkability and mobility and physical activity, we sort of mitigate that. Not only do we get to live longer, but hopefully enjoy those latter years.
The walkability program, I think, is incredibly important. Honestly, if we don't do some of these things, with the older adult population increasing 20% by 2020, and the healthcare costs going up high, we are going to, down the road, desperately need something to help us reduce some of those costs. And physical activity has been known to help people age in place and reduce the risk of falls, which are very costly on our healthcare system. When you start doing more, you can do more. And that's the power of physical activity and exercise.
So I see this program being incredibly important. Idaho is at the bottom of the list on so many things connected to depression, services for older adults. But in this case, where we've developed over a decade's period of time, this very strong peer-led program, we're one of the few in the country, and I would suspect one of the best.